Welcome, everybody. It's another edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, Rock and Roll Matty Goldberg. What up, boys?
What's up, dog?
Yeah. Living that life. Post-Christmas, we're on the road. I'm on the road, if this sounds a little different to everybody out there. That's what's going on.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in Hollywood.
Nice. Not too
Hollywood,
far from
California.
Me.
I'm from Hollywood.
Don't be a stranger. I could use visitors right now.
No, we're gonna go see the Iron Claw here soon in the next few days.
Well, I need a couple days because I had something bad happen to me, and
what happened, Matty? Open up to our listeners.
Well, I fell asleep on I think Wednesday morning.
Okay.
And I had a space heater on, and it was close to my hand, and it turned my left hand into mincemeat.
Ooh, good.
I don't have any feeling in the hand from the beginning, so I was like, "Oh, I can just take care of this."
Oh,
and then my body started feeling bad, and then Sunday I was like, "I got to go to the emergency room. I can't do this on my own." I mean, I should have gone right away. By the way, USC just scored a touchdown. I need to over the hit, so I'm not going to show you my hand now because it'll freak out people.
I want to see the hand. I want to see the raw claw.
It's like the Iron Claw. I'll show you this side. This side is fine. There's a little spot right there.
Yeah.
But the other side, but I was in the emergency room on Sunday night. I said, fuck it, I gotta go. I was there from like 7 o'clock. They saw me at 11:30 at night. And I was, holy shit.
Thanks, Obama.
You know what, though? It put a lot of things in perspective. I'm like, I'm going to get through this night, and I'm going to realize how fortunate I am because I was the least sick in the whole emergency room.
Was it infected at all or no?
It's probably infected, but I'm on a lot of antibiotics. Like, they shot my ass. They shot my ass there.
Oh, that's like if you get chlamydia or something. That's what they do.
Yeah, so they gave me a shot in the butt.
Pump you full of penicillin.
What's up?
Pump you full of penicillin.
Well, it's like called C-Flex. It's like it's like a stronger amoxicillin.
Amoxicillin? Okay.
So
C-Flex on that.
Yeah, I've been on that since Monday, and it makes me a little nauseous. I'll be taking in 2 hours for my nightly dose.
Yeah.
And, I was stupid. I should have gone right away. I'm gonna live. But like I get cold. Like I've had some chills. Like I probably almost died, but I didn't even realize it. So,
yeesh.
Yeah. Wow. Are you okay with space heaters now? Or are you afraid of space heaters?
No, as a matter of fact, my sister came over and like I was like, the scene in Poltergeist at the end where they go to the hotel, and the last scene of the movie is they take the TV and they put it in the hallway because like the TVs are haunted in the movie.
Yeah.
My sister took the space heater. She said she's throwing it out, and she's like, I could see where your hand was being burnt.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
okay.
I mean,
so you're all by yourself this holiday season?
Yeah, I'm all by myself.
If anybody's ever wanted to rape Matty Goldberg, now's the time. He's very vulnerable.
I stayed at my sister's on Christmas Eve night and Christmas. Like she picked me up at 1 a.m, which was really nice of her.
Oh,
we
wow.
went to CVS, which was open.
Yeah.
I had to wait. I got my meds in like 10 minutes. I was after this couple getting like Sudafed, like to make like meth and shit. So, just taking my antibiotics, creaming my hand, keeping it high in the air. So
please don't say cream in my hand.
Yeah, that was kind of hot though.
Well, bro,
yeah,
that's
what I'm afraid of.
The ER is intense, brother.
Yeah, not a place I'd want to be on a holiday. Or
this guy comes in, he goes, I feel suicidal and voices are talking to me.
Jesus.
And
what are they saying?
I don't know, but this girl came in, like, it's kind of like where they're like, listen, it's not first come, first served. It's like we go by priority. So I felt like I was in good shape because I'm like, if I was in bad shape, they take me in pretty fast. This girl got like a mega dog bite, like running in with like her hand just bloody, like blankets of blood. It was horrible.
It was just her hand?
Yeah, and then just people like coughing and like just you know. It almost put things in perspective because like there was a woman with like a 7-year-old daughter who was like coughing and stuff, and just like
That's
that's
disgusting.
got to be hell. Like that's just got to be really depressing. So I'm like, you know what? This will really make you appreciate living and life, and that's how I mean, I got pretty frustrated, when you're there for
Mhm.
5 hours. Holy fuck! But I think I'm gonna get through this. I mean, I should get through it.
Jim, how was your Christmas?
Yeah.
I didn't go to the ER. It was a plus. I got an XFL championship ball, which was sick.
Oh,
It was a good time.
Yeah, that's a
I
better Christmas than I had.
had some small blizzard action, almost got snowed in at my parents' place, but we made it back to the apartment, so everything's okay. Now I'm
So
on
you
the
with the
damn road.
lady?
Yeah, I went to her family's on Christmas Eve.
What did she get you?
That's what she got me. She got me the XFL championship ball.
That is hysterical. What did you
wait,
get her?
a bowl?
A ball, like a
Ball,
football.
like a football.
Oh, football. Okay, yeah.
With the
Thought it was
Arlington
like a
Renegades and
commemorative
my
plate.
name on it.
Wow, that's awesome.
I teared up a little bit.
I would too. I
She's
might
got
tear
your
up
heart.
anyway.
She
It's very
knows
nice.
you.
Yeah.
Dude, she knows.
That'd be funny if she bought you like a really nice sweater and like really preppy clothes.
You would know, like, the
Now, if you
cowboy
get married,
flavor.
will she take on the XFL name?
Miss
Yeah.
XFL.
Yeah,
Miss XFL.
Yeah.
Lady XFL.
So it's snowing pretty hard there, huh?
Not like anymore, but Christmas Day, part of the interstate was closed down and it got pretty bad over like central and western Nebraska.
Mm. It's pretty mild in the East Coast, the temperatures. It's about 60 now. And we're hanging in there. That's all you
All
can do in
right.
life is hang in there.
Well, we got lots of stuff going on. You guys want to jump right into NFL action?
Sure, let's jump in the
right.
NFL.
So we're getting to the end, boys. We're
Let's
getting to
do
the
it.
end. I
2
think
more
only a couple
weeks.
more games to go.
Yeah.
Big highlights from last week. Definitely the game of the week, or the should have been the game of the week, was the Ravens whooping on the 49ers. 49ers been looking invincible as of late and now look very pedestrian. It's funny, if they get like one injury, it's just over for them.
I think they just got their ass kicked. They were playing really good, the 49ers, and then they just got a whipping. And I mean,
Well, their
Kelce
linemen were getting injured and stuff. They had to move people around, which can make a difference. But still, if you're a good team, you got to overcome some.
I mean, the
shit once in a
Ravens
while.
have established themselves as like the cream of the crop right now.
I guess
like
so.
To go on the road and do that, they established themselves, but they got to do it in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the thing. Lamar was looking good though.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to judge Lamar by the a few years ago. I'm going to give him a clean slate, and I think they're the team to beat right now.
Yeah,
You got
it was
that Lamar Jackson is 19-1 against the NFC.
Oh, I saw that stat. It was like a record.
It's crazy.
They really put it together, a good receiver core too. You got a vet like Beckham, and then this Flowers kid from Boston College has been great. And they lost Andrews, which sucks, but Lively has been pretty good, and he's kind of holding it up. And Mitchell got hurt, but they find ways, and their defense has been awesome. But Lamar's been great. Can't take anything away from him.
Yeah, absolutely. We also had the Lions clinching the division. The roar has been restored.
I heard it was very emotional.
It was. That's like, it has been like 30 years.
It's so wild.
30 years since thumbs up Mike Utley.
And to think about it, they're in a division with like 4 or 5 teams. So to not win it for 30 years is insane.
Right, yeah. I mean, it is hard when you have like Green Bay, who seems to have a generational quarterback every turn.
The Bears won it early 2010. They had Jay Cutler. I see.
Yeah.
USC. Are you watching the Mayonnaise Bowl?
Oh, the Mayonnaise Bowl is already done.
Oh. But yeah, man. Detroit did it. It's going to be interesting. They played Dallas this week. I don't know how hard they're going to go. I mean, how hard you play to get that second seed, to get that bye.
I think they're still going to play hard. I mean, a Dan
Yeah, I
Campbell
think
team.
Aren't they technically still alive for the 1 seed?
Yeah, I would imagine, but it's going to be hard. I mean,
Technically, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the 49ers will get back on
It's
track.
slim. There's
You
only
know.
one bye, right? Only one. The 1 seed is the only one that gets a bye.
Yeah,
Correct?
the 1 seed only gets the bye.
Oh, I thought there's
Okay.
2.
No.
Okay,
No, I think
that's fine.
Yeah, because
Okay.
there's what, 7
Yes.
playoff teams total.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Something like
I
that.
honestly would kind of slow things down a little and just try to get yourself in the 2nd seed because I don't know if it's worth getting an injury. I mean, I wouldn't sit everybody for 2 games, but like this game, unfortunately, with Dallas, won't mean that much because they've already clinched and Dallas clinched, and I think Dallas have realized they're not going to beat out Philly for the division there.
Do you guys see
Yeah.
who the Lions are projected to play in the first round?
Who's that?
The Rams.
Oh no,
Scary, man. That is
that's my
tough
nightmare.
fucking match.
That's my nightmare scenario.
And
But
that's
kudos
a
to the
lot.
Rams for even being in the conversation, let alone with a good chance to
Not
make
to mention
the actual
Matthew
playoff.
Stafford coming back.
Oh God,
Yeah.
You got
the
all that.
emotions.
You got Jared Goff. I mean, there's a lot to that game, and it's like the Rams are just fucking peaking.
But the last time I felt like this was when it looked like the Dodgers and Tigers were going to play in the World Series, and then
Yeah.
none of them made it. So
That's how it goes.
we'll see. We'll take it as it comes.
Luke, I was talking with Uncle Rico about it because he's also
Yes.
a big Lions fan.
Uh-huh.
He was very happy. He kind of like took this weekend to like express how happy he was that the Lions went with Dan Campbell over Robert Salah.
I like Salah though. I like him a lot, and I think he's had some unfortunate circumstances there, especially with the QB situation. Who knows where they would be with a QB situation? But yeah, I mean, you can't complain.
Well, I'll tell you this:
we're
about
doing so
Salah.
great with Dan Campbell. It's amazing.
He did fix the Jets D. The Jets D, that was his
That's
job.
a great
was to come in there and
defense. Yeah.
fix the D. They get Aaron Rodgers, it falls apart. But definitely Campbell has a better kind of just. There's something
He's like
about
the
it
best
guys want
motivator
to
in the
play.
league.
Yeah. It's like a Tony Robbins on meth. Like, just come on, let's go. Like, you're kind of afraid of him, but then you want to follow him into battle. It's so cool.
He's not a yeller. He's not like like even when he said they lost the last game, he's like, next, I'm gonna have to make things a little more irritating in practice. Meaning he's gonna have to amp it up just a little. But he's one of those guys like, I don't want to have to go there. Like, I don't want to have to get my face red. Because if I do, it's not gonna be pretty. So just respect me.
Yeah, well, he loves the players too. Like he doesn't want to demean them, and he's the guy who's cried when they had bad losing streaks and things like that. He really I think
he's
some
also
coaches.
A player.
Yeah, exactly, and he's just in it, and he loves it, and the players love him, and it shows.
I think what he also did was, I mean, maybe I'm belittling his intelligence because I think he's a very intelligent man, but I also think he's given the X and O's to his coordinators, and he's let them do their job, and he kind of manages the whole team, where he's kind of like the team, like just make sure everybody's right, everybody's ready to go. And I think, sometimes when you get like guys that are too involved in one side, then you kind of lose something, or they're not focused on the whole game. And he's got. We'll see what happens next year. Losing Ben Johnson is going to be really tough because that guy is a offensive genius. Their play calling is A+.
Yeah,
and he's the. I mean, I could see him definitely going to Carolina, like making a big push for him or something like that.
I think any team with a spot would be.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd be a good fit for the Chargers too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he's definitely got to be gone. I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, this was a very emotional. I saw like Taylor Decker was crying really, I mean, you think about it, 30 fucking years not winning a goddamn division.
But the Detroit loves you. If you go out there and play hard,
Absolutely.
Detroit, the city will love you even if you lose.
Kid
And
Rock.
it's just So these players are happy for the city too, like there's a lot going on. So
Like you see,
we'll see how far they can
said
take it.
Goff said it's a very passionate town, and I think he's taking a little shot at La La Land. But I get it. We're not, Detroit's like you're. It's a tradition, like LA. There's too much shit
Right.
going on to like
Yes.
really get that involved if you're not born here. So,
Right.
but yeah, they did what they had to do. The Vikings, are going to play them tough division game, but I bet on Detroit, so I was happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we also had Flacco, the ghost of Joe Flacco,
Wow,
has
he's
risen.
back.
He's looking strong.
Dude, he's gotten some of the most disrespect in his career one of the most disrespected quarterbacks ever. He had a very, very solid career. For when he was drafted, I think he was high first round or like low second round, like in the 20s to like 40. He had a great fucking career. He's got a ring. He beat in the playoffs. He beat Peyton Manning and Tom Brady back to back to make the Super Bowl. Oh, Andrew Luck too in that playoff run.
Yeah,
he
that's
was
pretty
on fire.
historical.
He had about 4 or 5 very solid years, and he's still somewhat like of a punchline of like not being that good. And he's fucking great, and he's balling. And this is Cleveland. I don't put him where like the Rams are. I think they'll be maybe win one playoff game, but he's doing some magic.
Yeah, I mean, with that defense, who knows?
Yeah. Exactly. I think the Browns and the Rams are no one would want to play them because they're going to have to play them on the road, and especially the Browns with that defense. If Joe Flacco is continuing to play like this and he just keeps like dominoing these great performances, I don't know. I'm scared of the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, they could be dangerous. I think the Rams are more dangerous, but hey, the Browns also had that big win in Baltimore. I mean, how many teams go into Baltimore and win? That's the last time the Ravens lost. So they're not going to be afraid of the Ravens. They're definitely, them and the Rams are two teams you don't want to fucking play.
The Bills seem to they had another
there.
win this week. And that wasn't pretty as some of their past few victories, but they're there, and who knows?
You can tell by how much a team hates their coach by when he gets fired and how good they play the next week. And the Chargers played great. The Raiders have been great. There seems to be something with that,
Yeah. Well, the Bengals blew it this week, so they're fucking toast now. Even the Jake Browning, they blew it.
They winning 4 games in a row, you kind of burn out, and Pittsburgh was due for a win. And Mason Rudolph is not a bad quarterback. He's their best quarterback they have, and he's been sitting there doing nothing. So
who?
Mason Rudolph.
I was going to say about Browning.
What's up?
I was going to say I feel like backups have like a good 3 to 4 games in them, and then they peter.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
Do you think it's like they peter out, like it's just a consistency issue, or other teams are like, okay, that's how you beat this guy?
Yeah, I think it's more how you beat him, because it's like when a rookie in baseball comes up. Usually the first few weeks he's just killing the ball, and then they go,
right,
okay, throw him this, you can't hit this,
the Yasiel Puig.
Yeah. Well, I think Puig did it to himself other ways with partying and not giving a fuck.
Well, he looked like an all-star in his first 50 games, and then it was.
Boy, did he blow his career.
Let's see. We had the Dolphins had a big win.
Yeah, when I was watching that game, I was like the most delirious. So I was into it, but I was like, I think I'm dying here. I should go to the emergency room. But hell of a game. And again, the Dallas finds a way to lose these big games where it's like, when are we going to stop with these moral victories?
Well, I mean, the Dolphins also, like, this is the game of who's the real moral victor here.
Sure.
And it's the Dolphins. The Dolphins are the real victors here. Finally got to win against the team with the winning record.
Yep. But we also have to worry
that's a signature win.
The weird thing is the Dolphins are really winning by defense now. Like, their defense is, I think, just as good as their offense.
Shout out Vic Fangio.
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, he's some guys aren't head coaches. They're great coordinators. Like Staley might be a really good coordinator and get another job, but Fangio will always be a great coordinator. Wasn't a great head coach, and you kind of just let him do his thing, and you worry about the offense. But Miami hasn't had those like games though that they're just like going up and down the field. They've
been balanced. Like the run game's been great. And I like this game in particular because they showed that they could win. Like, even if Wall gets hurt and Tyreek is still banged up, they've got, they can do it.
And that was a game that was very tough. Like, it was a very physical, tough game. By the way, I have the over in this football game, and it's looking good for me.
I'm so hyped for the Dolphins Ravens next week.
Yeah, you got medical bills now, Maddie. You got,
but I got good insurance, but I also made my fantasy championship, which I'm super excited about.
Well, congratulations, Maddie.
I never win fantasy, but it's like probably first place is like $800-900. So,
woo,
yeah,
right.
14.
So the Jags, who were looking so good early in the year, have now lost 4 in a row as we're heading down the end here. What do you see in the Jags? Are they going to do anything?
Lawrence is hurt, and they go with when he's good, they're good, and when he's not, he's not. And I was reading something like, "Is he a bust?" And I'm like, "No, he's not a bust. He's hurt." So I don't know. They're collapsing. It's hard. The NFL is tough. You never take a win for granted, but. Yeah, they're starting to fall apart, and God, everybody was on the Bucks. I was like, the Jags are going to finally turn around, but they weren't even in the game.
No, how about Baker Mayfield? Huh?
He's the comeback player of the year.
I would say so.
If you look at it for the truth, though, he had a rookie year where he was a rookie. Then he had an okay second year. Then I think the third year they made the playoffs, he beat the Steelers, and he won the one playoff game. Then the next year he gets hurt, and he's trying to play hurt, and they get rid of him really fast, and they go to Watson, and then he goes to Carolina, which he was overmatched. But then he played good with the Rams. I mean, he's not horrible. They had him as like a bust already, and he's not a bust.
I'm always going to be a Baker guy.
Baker's fun.
Yeah, I always love people who take their hits and get back up. It's the most American thing you can do. And this guy came in with all that praise, gets shit on, moves teams, multiple teams, and is now doing really good and maybe leading to a playoff.
I mean, think about it too. He was on every endorsement 2-3 years ago. Now you can't find him on any endorsement. You just get that idiot Travis Kelce.
Nobody wants him. He's promoting a $1.50 Costco hot dog.
By the way, wait till we get to the Chiefs.
All right, well, tell us about the Chiefs, Maddie.
Well, I'm so happy they're sucking a dick right now. It's kind of fun to watch the Brittany and Taylor, who doesn't want attention, even though she came in with Santa Claus. She's just here to see Travis Kelce, even though she showed up with Santa Claus wearing a hat with 87 on it because she doesn't want any attention. It's not about her. It's all about Travis. I'm so happy the Chiefs are falling apart. They look so out of sync. The Raiders were like, yeah, you guys are got the fucking TikTok and the weird brother. We're just going to come there and beat the fuck out of you. And that's what they did. They just they did it ugly with Max Crosby. And I guarantee there was a funny. I don't know who did it, but there was a funny meme. You know the meme of the guy looking at the other girl.
Yeah.
Girl mad.
Mm-hmm.
It's of Taylor Swift looking at Max Crosby, and Kelsey's mad. And I bet you she thought about tossing a salad.
I like Max Crosby because he's not ripped. The Boses are all ripped, but he just kind of looks like a guy who used to be fat and is not fat anymore.
Have you seen his knee during the games? He drains his knee every game. It just bleeds. The whole game, it's just blood. He's just a
no. He looks like he's been to prison twice.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, he's a tough dude.
Well, he's
I would
turning
not
into
fuck
a bona fide superstar, and the Raiders are kind of have an identity, and it's like they gotta hire Antonio Pierce. They fucked up already not hiring Versace or Johnny Versace or whatever his name was.
That sounds like a rapper name.
Bertucci, what's his name?
What was
Versace?
that guy? Versace. Jim loved
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah, Gianni
I do
Versace.
love that guy. I do love that guy.
So it's like go sign Antonio Pierce. He's got a lot of Dan Campbell in him. He reminds me so much of Dan Campbell.
But it's weird. You know Pierce's history, though, right? He's made some weird decisions in his life, and
Like what
you know he dropped off Plaxico Burress at the hospital and sped away when
That was 15,
Plaxico
20
shot
years
himself in the leg.
We're
Yeah,
not
and
gonna
then when
judge
they
him
went
for
to
his
when the
past.
Giants went to the Super Bowl, he left his pit bulls alone with like no food or anything. Like it was really fucked up. He's a
you
weird
know,
dude.
Everybody, you know, you can't.
Everybody leaves their pit bulls home alone when they
No,
go to
I
the
mean Michael
Super.
Vick killed 60 pit bulls, but you know,
No, I know. I mean, you can be forgiven, I guess,
Yeah.
but it's just still a little weird for a
you
head
get
coach.
into Pat McAfee about this.
Oh God. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll keep it short. But I do torture myself because I go, what does Pat McAfee have to say about this Chiefs? This asshole gets up there, Mr. Don't sue us, Mr. We're not corporate. He's like, this is such a shame the Chiefs are playing bad. You know, I wanted the Swifties in football to be united, and this is great that the Swifties are on board of this. And I'm like, this is a huge distraction, you moron. What a touchdown by USC. Like, I mean, Skip Bayless, he's daring the Swifties to come after him because he's like, this is a distraction. They're 3-5 since the T Swift thing. They should be 2-6.
Mhm.
It is a distraction. I don't know why it is, but it is.
It is.
It's-
And
So they don't have.
what about their team? Is there anything going on with the team
Yeah,
specifically
they
that
have no
you could?
wide receivers.
Okay.
They
Yeah, that'll do it too.
They absolutely dropped the ball by getting zero. Like they thought, like Patrick Mahomes can just like throw it to anybody, and you really can't. And like Scantling is awful. Rashard Rice isn't bad. Justin Watson's a glorified fourth receiver. Sky Moore, I think, is hurt. So they really don't have a wide receiver. And then you have Kelce, whose dick is in Buenos Aires chasing his lady, and you know he's off because he's like not in it as involved as much because he's not as hungry. He's hungry for something else, obviously. And you know they got no wide receivers though. Like, you know, I still think Pat Mahomes is elite, obviously, but he doesn't have a lot of guys to throw it to, and you see his frustration. And I think they had a lot of big plans for Tony, and they had to sit him this week because so many mistakes.
Hey, what music do you think Kelce and Swift listen to when they're in the throes of passion? What is it?
Hip-hop.
Jim's?
Taylor Swift's music. It's her music.
You think they just have to listen to T Swift's music, like the main stuff, or some of the deeper cuts, or just put on an album and go for it?
I think depending on the mood, they might go with different albums.
Okay, sure. Maddie, what songs do you think they're listening to?
Probably like really lame hip hop, and then like
you think Kelce listens to shitty hip hop, don't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's such a corny guy. Like somebody was trying to tell me he was funny. I'm like, he's not funny at all.
Like some of his behavior, I think, would be funny ironically, like if he wasn't in such the spotlight right now. But
there's something, maybe I'm being biased, but there's something about Gronk that's kind of mildly charming. Like Gronk kind of knows he's a moron.
Yeah.
Kind of plays into like on this big goofy meathead,
right?
You know, and Kelce takes himself maybe a little too serious in it, and it ended with me with Kelce when he started like doing like nobody believed in us, nobody, like last year when they were like
that's
the best
your favorite thing about any of these teams, Maddie.
Yeah.
And did you hate Mahomes before he started bitching about the calls the other week?
No, I like him and I still like him. I think everybody has bad moments in their lives that they do something dumb. And I think I will agree with Pat McAfee a little on it that, yeah, he was probably trying to protect his teammates. But you saw the next week when he threw a perfect pass to Tony and he dropped it. He just the ball goes in his hands and it jumps in the air and it's like a perfect interception. And he was like, I'm done with this guy. And you could just see the frustration. Mahomes finally yelled at his offensive line this week, which he doesn't usually do. He's frustrated and it's enough. He's got to go home to that, that scaggy wag when he goes home at night.
Scaggy wag.
I didn't want to call her other names. God, is she annoying. You know what's so dumb with these people?
Huh.
She put a thing on Instagram about the haters, you guys are so immature, get a life. When you do that, you feed the trolls. You feed the trolls.
You're just begging for it. You love it, you're just
Stuttering John, when people call his mom at 3 a.m. on Christmas, he's like, you're calling an 86-year-old lady. You're just asking people to do it more. If you don't say anything about it, they might stop because they might not know if it's affecting them.
Of course.
When you give it 5 minutes to lecture them, you're just begging for it.
Let me tell you how much this pisses me off, and no one should ever do this again.
How sick of you? She's 86.
Sick of you. So dumb.
So
dumb. Hey, speaking of dumb, I think the Broncos are getting smart and cutting ways with Russell Wilson. They are benching him, making sure he passes his physical so he doesn't get some default $37 million. And then I think he's done. He's toast.
Do you think next year he gets a starting job, or do you think next year what do you think he's going to do? I don't know if he's got the ego to be a backup.
Jim, what do you think?
I'm sure there is some team out there that would go. I'm trying to think of
who.
With the Giants? No.
What about the Titans if they move on from
Patriots with Russell Wilson?
Oh boy, it could happen though because the state of quarterbacking is really shitty.
He'll definitely find the place, but he might not. He might have to actually compete for a job. This is not going to be like Dangerous, Subway commercials. This is going to be all right, come in and compete against Will Levis. Come in and compete against. I'm not going to say Aiden O'Connell. I think Aiden's done enough to win that job.
I don't think so.
I like him.
I love Aiden O'Connell to death, but when you can win a game without throwing a single pass in 3 quarters.
Hey man, when you got Max Crosby.
But that puberty mustache.
Let me tell you something.
I do love it.
It's like baby's first mustache.
I bet you Taylor Swift said to Kelce, she's like, you know what? You should get some tattoos. That guy had a lot of cute tattoos. He's like, really? She's like, yeah. But
that reminds me of do you ever get a girl that tried to get you to wear a certain cologne or something?
Oh yeah.
It's just because some guy in her past cornholder really good, and then she wants that smell again.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay.
It's called musk.
Yeah.
Right.
What else?
Russell Wilson. I know Sean Payton hates his guts. Seeing him yell at him against the Lions, I've never seen a coach ream out like a veteran quarterback like that. Maybe
Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty cold. And Sean Payton hasn't done a great job per se. They did have a nice little run in the middle of the season, but has he really been that great of a coach this year?
Well, I think just the fact they got to as many wins as they did this year compared to how they started, compared to how they were last year, I think is an improvement. Yeah.
What do the Broncos do for quarterback now?
They have Stidham, and then what are they going to? Who knows what they'll do next year?
I bet they get somebody like a Tannehill or somebody they'll get some other recycled crap. That's the
thing. You're telling me Tannehill's better than Russell Wilson? Fuck.
Well, they might be able to get, if their draft pick isn't so bad, they could probably still pick up a decent QB prospect.
What about Brown? Has he played himself good enough to get a contract?
What about Kyler?
He's another guy that might be on the move. If you can get Caleb Williams, that's the word. They might move him.
Yeah,
That's the word.
I can see Kyler shifting out.
Another guy that might be on the move is Justin Fields too.
Oh yeah.
You know, the
True.
Bears weren't even eliminated. Like, they were still in playoff contention, I think, last week, which is crazy.
Yeah,
It's good. It's good for football. I mean, I can remember years ago, you'd get to the last 2 weeks of the season, you'd have like 2 or 3 games that actually meant something. Now you have like 12 or 13.
Like literally the last 2 weeks of the Dolphins season mean everything because they're battling the Ravens for the 1 seed.
And then the Bills.
And the Bills for the division.
Yep. Crazy.
All right. Well, coming up this week, we got good games: Lions versus Cowboys, Dolphins at Ravens, and Rams looking to try and make the playoffs versus
I'll
the
be
Giants.
curious to see what the Lions do because how are they going to put their foot on the gas this week? Like, how emotionally are they going to have? Because to just win the division is like take a deep breath, especially if you feel like you probably aren't going to get the number 1 seed. Like, just breathe and enjoy it. And
Well, you might play hard and see how it's going. If the Cowboys are on, then maybe pull the choke a little bit.
I expect them to put a nice run together though in the playoffs and make Michigan very happy. Eminem, Kid Rock.
But don't.
Well, who else is from Detroit? MC5.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Is he from Detroit?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Of course he is. Madonna.
Ciccone. Yeah, she looks like ass now.
Well, she's like 66 or something. She's old, man.
She looks like Brittany Mahomes, man.
Wait, a skaggy waggy? Is that what you?
Dude, I don't know what she is, but like, if you start calling out trolls and like telling them to grow up, like, you're just asking for it like times 1,000.
What if we got her? What if we need a podcast with her and Kelly Stafford?
Oh, yeah, that'd be insufferable.
I know. Who do you think would talk more in that?
It's just funny because Kelly Stafford, this is how little she knows about football. Like, saying that she does, like, Matt Stafford's not really connecting with his young receivers. You ever hear of Pat Nakua, whatever the fuck his name is? The guy's a fucking rookie of the year.
Puka Nakua?
Whatever his
Pat
name
Nakua?
He's rookie of the fucking
Sounds like
year.
a French basketball player.
The French Bulldog, Pat Nakua.
Yeah. I am Pat Nakua here to receive your balls, Matthew Stafford.
By the way, is he the rookie of the year? Who is? Is it him or
it's
is it
between him and Stroud? I feel.
Yeah.
Puka's like he could break the all-time rookie receiving record too if he has a couple good games at the end of the season here.
I mean, watching him play this Thursday, just dominate as a rookie. I'm like, you're like,
and that's when you have a bell cow on your team too, like Cup.
Yeah,
like that's a lot. So
he's just not a possession receiver. He fucking makes some catches, man, and makes them.
Yeah, he can block too.
What are you watching there, Jimbo?
I'm watching the A&M Oklahoma State Bowl. There was a brawl.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm watching USC Louisville. I got the over. You know what I bet? You know what I put a few bucks on each game now? Anytime defensive touchdown.
Oh, for the bowl games or just games in general?
For anything. Put $5 on each team. I'm telling you, you get like 7-1, 8-1. It's great, man.
All right, coming up in just a few days here, we got the NCAA playoffs, baby.
Are you excited?
I'm getting more excited. It's been a long layoff, so now it's finally starting to kick in.
Are you nervous?
Maddie, be prepared. If I find some cheap tickets on StubHub, somebody gets sick or COVID at the last minute, you're coming with me.
Well, I don't know with his hand, but
fuck your hand. I'll wrap it up and we'll go. That's how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you can't get tickets, you can. I'll open up the movie theater. We can watch it in the movie theater.
Oh, you got your, that would be great. I fucking
I'll
love
ask Jake
that.
to figure it out. Yeah. You want to come over, Jim? I gotta meet you.
We're okay. So sometime next year, I'm gonna try and make it out.
Nice. We'll meet in
Oh,
Vegas.
I like how far in advance Jim plans. It's very
Are you enjoying the bowls, by the way? I hit the over Kansas last night. It was a lot of fun. I love this Bean kid. I mean, he's not an NFL guy, but he's a great college quarterback.
Dude, Jason Bean is one of the most entertaining college quarterbacks of all time.
He gives and he takes. He's great for the over because he's going to throw a lot of picks. But we should go to the main games.
Well, let's talk about the 4 serious teams. No opt-outs, no main transfer portal sit-outs. Michigan versus Bama. I didn't get to watch a lot of Bama this year.
It's confusing.
Of course, I watched a lot of Michigan. Yeah.
It's good. I'll let you go first, Jimbo.
Their defense is so good, but Bama's defense is so good. And the thing is, Jalen Milroe's progression throughout the year.
Sure.
He's starting, obviously, you see in the Texas game, he looks rough. He's amazing, but he's really, from what I've seen, only really great at 2 things. Fantastic runner. Everyone already knew that.
And a deep ball.
And he's really, really good at throwing the deep ball. He is fucking amazing at throwing the deep ball. The intermediate passes, he's kind of iffy on. He's whatever. The deep ball is one of the prettiest deep balls I've ever seen.
And that's the thing, because, there was some games where they usually, for the last 10 years, they kill everybody and they dominate and they win by 20, 30, and it's over in the second quarter. But seeing how he played against Auburn and how much they struggled that game, and then it was just odd for them to just come back and pretty much handle Georgia pretty easily. It confuses you, but they're still Alabama. They still got elite talent.
Matty, I wouldn't look too much into the SEC championship game. Georgia, for some reason, in the SEC title game in particular, always loves to choke it away.
Yeah. Well, also, they got to lose. I mean, they won about 20 some odd games in a row. That's crazy. They were due for a loss, and it's weird. Alabama and Michigan are so different because Michigan is line up, run the fucking ball, pass when you need to, but it's ground and pound, dominate the line of scrimmage. And Alabama is throwing the deep ball and getting their quarterback to run. It's hard, and it's hard. I can't get any read on it just because of how bad Michigan played the last 2 years in this game. It's
sure.
Is it a crapshoot when they get there? Are they not?
Well, I like the talk. They're we have basically overthought it the last couple of years. They've just been so maybe they'll come in a little more relaxed. They'll of course do their homework, but they're not going to try to overthink things.
But the problem is last year they go, oh, the year before we came and we had fun, and now we're in for a business trip and there was no fucking fun, and then TCU beat them. So it's
well, I'll say this: last year too, JJ threw 2 pick sixes, fumbled at the 1 yard line. I mean, they couldn't have played any worse, and they were still within a score at the end of the game.
But
I mean, it was not big. Yes, I definitely agree they should have won, but I think and I want this. I want Bama, because if we're gonna win, we gotta beat an SEC team.
I honestly think the road gets easier after. This is a tougher game by far.
What do you guys think of the other 2 teams then, and how do they stack up against Michigan, Bama? Yeah,
I'm also going Washington. I think Washington matches up better against Texas than either Michigan or Alabama does. And I think if Texas wins the championship, they probably win.
It's also something where you think you're playing Washington, so you're oh, we're playing the lesser of the 4 teams. We got a break. And then when you start playing them, you realize no, this is a really good fucking team with,
probably the 2 best wide receivers in the playoffs.
Yeah. I've been watching football for a long ass time. I don't remember when Indiana University was any good at college football. They were fucking great because of how good Michael Penix is. He's one of those guys that wills his team to win. He's got such a great touch on the ball. They got great receivers. They got a decent D. This is where if Texas thinks they're just going to come in there and push them around, they're in for a long night. I do think it'll be.
I love. By the way, I love the commercials I've seen. It's Texas is finally back. because that's always the thing every year. Texas is back, and then they fade. But now it's like finally back. So
well, to make it to the Final Four, I would say they're back, and
Yeah.
they're gonna be good for a long time. Even they're joining the SEC next year.
yeah,
Yeah, they'll still be right up there, and beating Bama in Tuscaloosa is a big fucking deal.
and with the playoffs expanding too, it's not so daunting going into the SEC either. So
Yeah.
like,
I would say this, with my hand injury, if I was a quarterback, I would be like doubtful, but I would play on Monday. Fuck yeah, I could play.
Attaboy, Maddie.
They'd have to pull the
Maddie,
IV.
no one's tougher than you're. Like the Max Crosby of whatever
yeah.
you do. I don't know.
But I'm gonna go with Michigan and Washington in the final.
All right.
The tricky thing about Michigan for me is obviously I want to take them. All the money in the world has come on Alabama when the line opened at 2.5, and it's only stayed at Michigan minus 1.5. But all the money seems to be coming in on like Alabama money line just constantly. Everyone's betting all the time, and the line's just staying.
I think
that's weird. It's like, what does Vegas know?
They know the over/under is the play. I think it's a little low, 44.5.
Give me that under, dude. These are two great defenses, and
I'll take the over. I think Michigan wins 27-23.
At least give me the first half under.
That's fair enough. First quarter, a lot of three. Tough. Tough.
They're gonna be a little jittery.
I noticed in the bowl games though, without this Final Four, take the overs on all these games because it's much more wide open. Lax football.
Yeah, because it's everyone just practicing basically.
Yeah.
It's like everything is like a glorified spring scrimmage almost. Who
is the best player left in the Final Four?
In the Final Four,
is it McCarthy? Is it Ewers?
I don't know. I don't know. Like the linemen, like for Bama or I don't know if there's some linemen I'm not aware of. But
it's hard because football is a team game that doesn't really go.
I would say I would still take McCarthy over any of. I would take him over any of the quarterbacks, I guess. And Penix benefits from a really great system. So does Ewers. I just love JJ's decision making.
Well, he seems determined. Like he seems like. And if they pretend that Jim Harbaugh died, you can.
Yes. That's good. That's a good strategy, though.
Yeah.
So
they can cry about Jim Harbaugh as he goes to the Bears next year.
All right. We'll talk about a few other things and then get out of here. My Pistons hit a milestone, and they were lucky enough to do it on their home court.
Yeah.
27 straight loss.
I heard a great stat.
Record. What's the stat, Matt?
Did you know that the Arizona Diamondbacks have won a game before the Detroit Pistons have won a game? So the last team to win between those two are the Arizona Diamondbacks, which was in October at the World Series.
I did hear that one. That's amazing.
That is insane.
That is nuts.
We're in fucking almost January.
That's funny because the Pistons got two early wins as well, and it looked like they might be okay this year, and they just get worse every year, even though they're getting higher draft picks. It's insane. I can't believe it. It's like I don't know why any of those coaches they should fire everybody just for the fuck of it, just because fuck you, you're not going to do this. It's insane. I think they should take everybody out onto Ford Field, line them up, and shoot them all in front of a pay-per-view.
You know what?
That's free to Detroit residents.
Go on, Jim.
I was talking with a couple people this week, and my mind is if they don't beat the Raptors this week, I think they make it to 30.
Easily, it could easily happen. They're just teams that they should have a chance against. They just fold. And it sucks because Cade is playing his heart out and he's doing everything. And none of these other rookies are really getting to that next level or the younger guys. They're just not stepping up.
Good news is I remember the Lions went 0-16.
Yes.
And now they're in the playoffs 11 years later. But I do remember Rod Marinelli was the coach for the Lions, and he somehow became a darling of America because he was like, I'm just going to come out there. We're going to practice hard. We're going to play our hardest, and what's all we can do. And I think the Pistons will win over America very soon. Like, they're going to be the darlings of America because there's something about it, like
for like a shooting line.
What's that?
When they bring everyone out for the firing squad, then everyone will love them.
Yes, that's when we get our justice.
But I do believe they'll all become this lovable losers, kind of like the Lions kind of captured America's heart.
This is so, Maddie, it's so demeaning to Detroit sports and the people of Detroit that they only can root for fucking losers nonstop.
But look, you got the Wolverines. That it's obviously a big Michigan team. I think people like the Wolverines more than the Lions there. And you got the Lions. I mean, you got that. The Tigers are on the down. I think the Red Wings are mediocre. It's bad. I mean, yeah, and
Red Wings are finally back on the rise a little bit.
Sure,
though, right? They're going to get there.
It's bad, and I feel bad for Cade Cunningham. I like him, and it's probably a bad situation. Losing every night sucks. So,
but they have everybody there is so fucking young on that team. It's insane. The president of the company of the Pistons should definitely be fired too, not just the coach.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of lovable Americans, Ja Morant is back.
Yeah.
He's won Offensive Player of the Week, and then he's celebrating his great play with doing pistol shooting and mimicking bazooka shooting, which now this guy's winning me over. He is not. He just doesn't learn.
He's leaning into it.
I love
he's
John
like
Morant.
Larry David. He just doesn't learn.
He's leaning into the fun of what happened to him.
It is. It's stupid. Anyways, any thoughts on Ja Morant?
I love him now.
I think he's a hell of a player. I just I think he'll get his act on straight. And I was a couple years ago, I'm like, wow, Memphis is going to win a title in a couple of years. And now if he doesn't have his head on straight, you don't know. But he's such a great player that he can just come back and dominate.
I wish it was the 80s because MTV would hold a contest so you could go to a strip joint with Ja Morant. Unfortunately, it's not, and lawyers are everywhere.
Do you know the story about Van Halen?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I think they should make that into a movie. Do you know about that, Jim?
I do not.
These two kids, there was a contest, MTV. It was I think it was in Detroit, too, where it was we'll pick you up, we'll take you in a limo, we'll fly you to a Van Halen gig, you go backstage, and you get to party with the band. And these two guys won. They were in their young 20s. And they ended up doing a lot of drugs and drinking with Van Halen. I think one of them almost died or something. It got pretty bad.
That's amazing.
Yeah, true story.
I would tell everybody that.
Gigi Allen.
Yeah.
All right. Lastly, Wander Franco, great baseball player and a pervert.
Yeah.
He's had relationships with young women, and now it's starting to look like he is very guilty, according to some evidence. I don't like to rush to judgments, considering some certain stories we've had around here that have proven false. But this is looking bad for him, and the police in the Dominican Republic are searching for him. Maddie, you follow baseball. Tell us how bad this really is in compared to some other sports.
I follow baseball, but I don't necessarily follow Wander Franco's behavior.
But talk about how good he is if you compare him to he was a pretty good player though, right?
He was very good. I mean, he was a number 1 or top 10 pick. He was a shortstop, so he's the guy in the franchise, and it doesn't look like he'll be playing for the Rays or any team for a long time. I don't know. I mean, if he's in trouble, he's in trouble. I guess.
What was the team Charlie Sheen played for in Major League before the Indians there?
The California Penal League, but I forget.
Dan Quinton Penal.
Yeah. His favorite song is you ever hear Winger?
Yes, she's only 7.
17.
The sad thing is, I think this is even much younger than that.
Yeah, he's got some issues, bro. He's
Yeah, it's not great.
he looks
Wander
like he's
Kayla Turno.
yeah, it looks like he's gonna do some time. Even in the DR, like if they're going after him in the DR, that means he is a criminal.
No, but hear me out. He's in jail, right? He's just sitting there. Hey, you got a visitor. Someone's bailed you out. It's Dom Cruz. Dom Cruz comes in. Who's your buddy? Who's your buddy we interviewed?
The great Sean.
Sean Murphy is there. He's like, all right, let's hit the fucking town, bro. And then
I
they
haven't
all
talked
go
to
party.
Sean. I gotta give Sean a call.
Well, make sure he's off his meds and we can talk to him.
Yeah,
again.
he's no fun when he's not off his meds. He's really boring. He'll start talking to me about like Russian literature. I'm like, just talk to me about whores.
Yeah.
And reggaeton enforcement, baby.
Yeah, by the way, did you hear that Yankee Daddy became a born again Christian?
I did not hear that.
Now is he Yankee father?
Yes, I sent you a text. It goes, the guy, I forget what his name is, Shaggy or Shang or
what? There's Shaggy who did. It wasn't me.
No, who sings Daddy Yankee? Or is it Daddy?
No,
Yankee?
that is Daddy Yankee.
Gasolina, yeah.
Gasolina is he who sings?
Yeah. Yeah, so he became a born again Christian.
Oh wow, good for him.
I guess.
That's what happened to the rapper Mace in the 90s, and no one ever heard from him again.
Yeah, all these girls used to date Prince back in the day, and they all used to become born again Christians too.
And then Prince became like a Jehovah's Witness or something.
I don't know.
It's a wild world.
Good baseball news. That's a great baseball story.
Right? Good for the game.
All the things you can talk about.
Great for the game.
Like they're like speeding up the pitch clock. They're
the Dodgers have every great player.
Dodgers have every great player. They're limiting mound visits, and Wander Franco was arrested.
Yeah. I don't think he was very liked. I remember when he was on Tampa, they said he was a bad teammate. He got benched for being a bad teammate. I mean, I'm not going to correlate. There's a lot
Buster
of bad
Olney right here.
Criminals, but sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire.
That's right.
Oh, we got to talk about Cam Newton. What is wrong with Cam Newton?
What's going on with Cam?
This guy's an asshole. He's been doing podcasts where he rips like every quarterback in the NFL. They all suck. And believe this. So Brock Purdy had a bad game. When he threw 3 interceptions, he puts up a tweet of like 3 interceptions and like laughing, kind of like ripping on Brock Purdy. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like you're like part of a fraternity. Like you guys got to have each other's back, man. It's so immature. It's a weird thing.
Ever criticized Cam Newton of being too mature.
I worry about him because I watch a lot of Stuttering John, who's the #1 narcissist in the world. And come on, kid, go! Oh, fuck. Fell. I would have had a defensive touchdown there if the USC guy returned it for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's how I scream at the TV. I go, I learned it from my dad. My dad would go, come on, kid. Come on, kid. Come on, kid. Anyway, it's a very weird move. Like, can you see like another quarterback like mocking another quarterback for having a bad game? It's odd.
Well, Cam's an odd guy.
It's also like he was so born. I mean, he was a great football player, and no doubt about it. He was born like just to play. When it's over, it's scary because he's been probably blessed since he's 3 years old to do this, and then when you're not doing it anymore, it's like, what do you do with your like? How do you reinvent yourself? And he's funny. He's a good talker, but like, try to be a real like you can be really good on TV if you give really constructive criticism and you're not out there like, shitting on other guys. Jim, you have no opinion on this.
I do not care about Cam.
All right, fuck this guy. I need to get the fuck out of here.
Where are you going tonight?
Nothing. We're about to get bombarded with children over here. So
the Mary
my
Jane.
My last take is
boys.
about that Eastern Michigan player who started that brawl.
What's that?
You guys didn't see in the I forget which bowl it was. Eastern Michigan.
Oh, the Eastern Michigan
Alabama.
player. Yes.
Shout out
Merry
him.
Christmas
That
to
was
that
awesome
guy.
move. That was a great sucker punch.
I love it. Like, just that's the poorest sport thing you can do. Wasn't it Marshawn Lynch who did that?
I think so.
When he was at Cal and he just popped that Boise State player.
No, that was Blunt. That was with Garrett Blunt.
Oh, with Garrett Blunt. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Do not get tackled by the quarterback. We got Louisville going for you idiot. He could have had a 99-yard pick six, but he kept doing weird stuff.
So I'll make sense to you guys tomorrow, okay?
All right, boys.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a happy new year. Don't drink and drive. And we'll see you guys next week for another edition of the Sports Hole.
Go Blue.
Go Blue, baby. All right. How do I stop recording this? Hold on. I've got to stop recording.
You gotta push the button.
Shit.
You're sideways.
I fucking
You're still recording when you're sideways.
Hold on. All right. It doesn't.
No, you're still there.
Oh, God damn it. I'm like an old man.
I'm staying until you figure it out.
All right.
Yeah.